Nice.
I would be remiss in my duties if I did not give a little love to newly minted American hero Jack Hughes. OG Ryan, don't leave me hanging on this, man. Come on. Like, this picture should be hung in the Hockey Hall of Fame, right? Are you not going to say anything at all?
No, yeah. Sorry, I was doing something. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I was happy. I saw his face and I didn't know who it was at first, only because like the picture of his face that I saw like when he was in the post game interview, it was I thought it was crazier. Like his tooth was still in his mouth.
Oh yeah, that's after they yanked. That's right. That's after they yanked it because it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what I do here? Still getting used to the new equipment. Everybody, there we go. How's it? Welcome into Loose Cannons TV. We're still that new little show here called Sunday Night Arsenal, but tonight's the Monday night edition. Yeah, so got a full boat here. Got Mike Hers out on the West Coast. Mikey, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for the invitation. Back to back. I love it.
Always, man. Always. Making his triumphant return to the show down in Atlanta, GA. The real Ryan. How's things?
Good, man. Excited to see your guys' beautiful faces again. A great part of the season to talk about some things. So, yeah, excited to get into it. Bless you.
And fresh off the sneeze is the OG Ryan. What's up? How's the weather?
My screen is black and I'm trying to figure out what I did.
I will tell you this, just not for nothing, but from my end, it looks fine. Like the light.
Yeah, no, because I tried signing it. I tried signing into the chat, and it's like, yeah, I made a big boo boo. Oh no, I fixed it. Yeah. Okay. Good. I think we got like 12 inches. I think snow. So yeah. Long Island got hit harder. My parents got, I think, close to 30.
Providence, how far would Providence, Rhode Island be from? Nah, it's probably not close if you had to drive it.
A couple hours. Megan and I have gone to a college basketball game in Providence, so I think it's like 2 hours.
Yeah, they were getting crushed. I heard the last report out of Providence, Rhode Island, I heard was 40 inches, upwards of 40 inches. They blew their record out of the water. 40, and it was still going. So if you're up in the Northeast, hey, stay safe. Not crazy here. It's been snowing for 3 days, but it hasn't really laid at all. But anyway, that is another story for another time. Let's get into some footy chat here, fellas. That's what the people are here for. So I think I'm going to a little monologue, if you'll indulge me here, because I know you guys, everybody wants to talk about yesterday. We haven't been back here since last Sunday. So we've had 2 matches, and I think it's a good opportunity to ask some questions and have some serious dialogue in comparing and contrasting the 2 matches that we've had in the past week, because I think probably more so than any time I can recall in my life of actually being able to watch every single Arsenal match and understand what I'm watching and, understanding tactics the way I think I understand them. I don't know that there could be 2 more polar opposite matches than what we've witnessed in the past week here with this. The Wolves match, for those that watched, obviously was diabolically bad. Despite 2 goals, it was bad. That said, and I did, for everybody's knowledge, rewatch yesterday's match because I will be honest, I bartended a private event for the gold medal game yesterday, and it just kind of rolled over into Arsenal Spurs, and I didn't really get to watch that game the way I wanted to live. So I rewatched it this afternoon. And I have to say, thankfully, I did that because I have a bit of a new perspective on on yesterday's game. But completely, just two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Look, if all anybody does, if you come on here and you do this, on YouTube, if you do just an audio only podcast, whatever it might be, if all you focus on are results, you don't really have much to talk about, right? If you're going to do something like this, you've got to watch and you've got to pay attention. You've got to do some research, because otherwise you come on and it's a result. And all you're going to say is, hey, welcome to the show, guys. Arsenal beat Spurs yesterday 4-1. Great day. All right, see you next week. And off you go. On the flip side of that, if you come on after the Wolves game and it's, I don't know how it happened, but I know it ended 2-2 and it's a draw. And all right, guys, we'll see you after the next game. There's no context to it. And I think that context, as I said last week, I think context is important. And I think you can't really get too high. You can't really get too low. It's perspective. And if I were to title this show tonight, it would have been Positive with Perspective. Would have been my title after yesterday, title of the show. I was pretty ready to throw the club off a bridge last Wednesday. We're still on the bridge. I'm not going to lie.
Don't say.
We're still on the bridge, but we're backing away from the ledge now after yesterday. But I think I just feel like today is going to be a great show, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of things said that are just going to be very thought-provoking and very curious. So, Mike, I'm going to start with you and just in general, go from Wednesday to yesterday. How do you feel?
Part of me wants to just be a negative shithead just to see how much I could push OG Ryan's buttons.
Do it.
How much the league is over already. No, you know what? I keep on resorting back. I don't know if you guys seen it on Twitter, but there's a meme going on with like a person in therapy. And of course, they chat GPT it. So the person in therapy has an Arsenal kit, and the therapist is asking him like, "Hey, last week you said it was over, but this week you said we're so back. What's changed?" And it's kind of like the thing that you were saying, like based on just vibes and results based. Okay. Truth be told, I think, and I have a good mate of mine, Kelly. I think him and I, we don't want to down any hill right now. We don't want to be over optimistic, but we kind of don't want to be like super down in the dumps, because it's difficult after a big.
Wait, you don't want to be?
This is me trying not to be. This is a shocker for you. But no, okay. So a lot of it, and we've danced on this conversation last week, and like I think part of me is just saying we're strongly in the title win, and I think I read a tweet that said after the Wolves game, I'm more confident now than I was ever. I feel there's something so disingenuous about that, and I'm starting to see like some positivity online as almost performative. That's kind of how I'm viewing it. And like there's something like, dude, if you take an L and you're no longer 9 points ahead, but you're 2 points ahead, you don't have to fucking cheerlead the club. I'm a big believer. You could say like, that was shit. I'm pissed right now because all that good work we did, we squandered it. We just absolutely squandered it versus Brentford. We squandered it versus Wolves. And so I don't view that. And like when I feel like recently, you're either, if you share that opinion online, you're going to find people that A, agree with you, B, call you like negative, and you're like, oh my God, you're not prepared for a league. I don't know. I try to be as rooted in like realism as I possibly can. Wolves is a horrible result because it's the last team, right? There's no two ways about it. So I went into Wolves expecting to win, and the Drew pissed me off. I went into the Spurs game, who also I was fully expecting to win this game. This was not a traditional, Derby changes things. They've been really bad. I saw a stat saying that they've lost only 3 less games at the new Spurs stadium than we have at Highbury, despite us moving into Highbury 13 years earlier. their fans have seen that team lose in that fucking stadium more than, like a record number of time, right? So like not discrediting what happened yesterday, because it's always fun to see us win versus Spurs, but I'm also not like, well, we got that fucking monkey off our back. We're back, because part of me still thinks we just beat a shit team that we were supposed to beat. So no, I can't tell you that I'm on the train where like league title is back on. I never thought it was finished a month ago. I don't think it's finished right now. And I think for me personally, like the big deciding point is how we handle the run up to the City game. And matter of fact, I'm willing to say, like, if we leave the Etihad with a draw, I'm like substantially more optimistic about our chances. But it's just the fact that the league is no longer in our hands in a way, because it's in our hands if we beat Spurs City, right? But it's also if City just win out, they win the league. And I know that the feeling is City ain't the City of old. Sure, but they're still really good. And Arsenal are proving to have their own cracks. I think one thing that really stuck out to me, and this is something that I keep on harping on, where I say, like, I'm worried that the players aren't ready. And I only bring this up because, like, after the Wolves game, I saw a lot of this is on Arteta. And then there was a few really well-recognized reporters saying how much Mikel Arteta was screaming at his players for the last 10, 15 minutes to stay calm, to hold the ball, to move it forward. So he was begging them to do what every supporter out there wanted him to do. And instead, they just kind of let the nerves get to them and they continue to shit the bed. So I'm 50-50. I mean, I'm riding that fence today, big part. I'm firmly on the, I'm taking the most realistic approach that you could possibly have. It's a 2-point league right now. It's everybody's to win, everybody's to lose, so to say. So I'm sitting firmly on the bench. But yes, winning on Northern Derby, watching fucking Everechi as a breakdance in front of the Spurs fan. There's an absolutely wonderful clip going around with a Spurs supporter saying that he genuinely hates Eza more than Sol Campbell.
Yep.
It's just like he feels so disheartened with how much Eza hates the club or his club. It's from an Arsenal supporter perspective, it's fucking hilarious to watch, is what I would say. So, but I get it. I think if I had like a generational hater like that, I must feel the same way probably. So, yeah, dude, I'm not. Listen, we haven't won the league. We haven't lost the league. That's kind of where I'm at. I know it's very fence sitting, but I passed the mic to OG Ryan to explain to us.
Chomping at the bit over there.
Yeah, we're gonna win this league with 98 points somehow still.
I'm chomping at the bit to call you a bitch. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like,
that was my 2-minute long way of me saying I'm a little bitch. There you go, Ryan.
Yeah, like, oh yeah. Well, I don't know. We didn't lose the league yet. We didn't win the league yet. Yeah, no fucking shit. The league's not over yet. Like, what are we talking about? I'm gonna let real Ryan go. I just wanted to call you a bitch, and then
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Love you.
I think Mikey and I are kind of singing from the same hymn sheet here, because like I want to be so back and so in, but it's hard because, and I'm sure you guys watch all the games and probably rewatch like I do. Like a game like that had been coming, right? Like we get into this position where we play worse when we have a lead because we're scared to lose it. And it's just doesn't make any sense sometimes. And I think, you have the fan culture too. It's like we want it to be so easy. And we've had so many chances to maybe go up 9 points or 10 points or 11 points. And even as it looks like, City is about to lose to Liverpool, like it was right there. And then they come back in that game and it's like, oh, well, now we got a title race on our hand. Not like it wasn't ever there in the first place, right? But that really messes with our psyche and how we look at things. And if we do win the league, like we will look at some of these games and they won't feel as important. But I don't know how we're making it so much harder on ourselves. I think the reason why I get upset, and maybe everyone feels this way too, is in previous years, I don't know if I felt that we were the best team, even though I felt like we were really good and we could win the league. I do think we're the best team now. And that's why it's so frustrating that we're like making it harder than it should be and shooting ourselves in the foot like this. I always expected to beat Tottenham, so that wasn't anything out of the norm for me. But I think when everyone's starting to look, especially after we had our the FA Cup draw, and you're starting to look at the games and you're starting to count the points and you're saying, okay, Wolves away, win, Tottenham away. When you're starting to add the points you think and where City can drop points, like no one had us drawing against Wolves, right? So I think that all just sent us into a deep, dark place. And I feel like, maybe rightfully so, a lot of people are like, we just don't have it. Like if you can't beat Wolves, who literally have 9 points, and you have a 2-goal lead and you can't get that done, then we just don't deserve to be champions and we just don't have it in us. And I think that's fair for people to feel that way. So like how, Mike was saying, it's like, I still need to see more. So it's really fun to beat Tottenham and seeing them be miserable. I just absolutely love it. It was a great day. But like literally the moment that game ended, I'm like, okay, we got Chelsea in a week. Another game that at home we need to win. So, I can be happy and laugh. And, I scrolled for hours and watched all the, the fan videos, and it was hilarious. But like in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, winning and beating Tottenham is becoming so normal now that it makes me feel great, but like I want to win the league. So my mind just goes to, okay, well, we need to beat Chelsea. Then we got Brighton away, and then we have Everton at home before we play City. Like that's where my mind goes straight there. So I'm happy, but like Mike said, like I still need to see more, right? Like I think we're good, and I think we can still do it, but like we still have a lot of work to be done. So I want to be excited. I want to like get back on the bus, but like I'm still like nervous and don't want to be hurt that I still need to see, a few things before we go and play City at City to feel great about it. So it's kind of where I'm at, sadly, but it was fun beating Tottenham for sure.
And just real quick, OG Ryan, just something that Real Ryan pointed out was the City versus Liverpool result. This is, we kind of did a little bit of like hot takes last week when we were on the podcast. Here's a little bit of a hot take. I think the City win versus Liverpool upset me and put a bigger dent into my title hopes than the Wolves draw. Go ahead. This is your time. Like, give me a rebuttal. Because, like, literally, again, Ryan, it's like we talk about games we expect to win, expect to lose, and we had them checked out. We have games in which we think they're going to draw points. That, like, we were like, they're going to draw points. They have to. Newcastle's a tough game. They did it with Spurs. They somehow fucked up Spurs. And then, like, Anfield, I would say the large majority of Arsenal supporters had that down as an L for City.
Yep, I did.
All going to plan until shit happened in like 15 minutes. I don't know, like when I saw that, that to me, that those type of like wins, the wins versus Newcastle, I just am slightly against the idea that we're playing it against a not so strong City. I think that's what it is. Like I feel like a lot of supporters are hanging their hats on the City shit, and I just keep on seeing them get that March, April, May form that they get, in which they go on and just fucking win like a fucking machine. That's what those results gave me. Like when I saw them pull it over Liverpool, and I saw them celebrate, and then they followed up with Newcastle. That's what it felt like to me. So that was like, it was a gut punch for me and my title hopes personally. Go ahead, Ryan. Shoot.
All right, hold on.
Wait, let me say, I just want to add to Mike's point really fast. It's like, I even have people saying like, oh, well, they got Leeds and Forest and West Ham next, like all teams that are really fighting, to stay up. It's like, it's true, dude, but they're probably going to batter all of them. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like this false hope of like, oh, well, they're playing like 16th and 17th and 18th, like, but they're all fighting to stay in. Like, they're in those positions for a reason. Like,
Yeah. This might shock you guys. They've been trying to fight for to get out of relegation for the last 20 games or so.
So I'm like, okay, like, sure, there's a chance.
Right. Ryan's been holding it back.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear it.
No. I'm really annoyed. I wish someone would just say like, relegate us. We're going down. The league's over. We're going to be the champ. That's what I was waiting for because so
Mikey, he basically accused me of saying that we were getting relegated.
Well, okay, hold on. I'm getting to that. So I didn't see the Wolves game live. I was at work. And I should have known. I did want to watch it after the game. I'm someone that can go a whole day without watching the game and be spoiler free. And I should have known. I'm blaming myself. I should have told you guys no spoilers. But I got spoiled. I'm not going to name names, but two of the three people here are in the chat. I'm not even going to name who said what. All I'll say is the reaction from probably both of you and maybe a couple of my friends, also in the chat, also Arsenal fans. I thought we were getting relegated. I thought, like, is there mathematically a chance we can get relegated? Like, what's going on here? Like, I get it, and I understand the context of, you know, no team in first place has ever given up a 2-goal lead against the last place team or whatever the fucking stat I've been reading everywhere is. And yeah, this is not good. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say like, oh, it's okay, you know, top of the league. But like, I don't know. I just think, and it's funny, Mike, because you brought up an interesting point about how you think that the people that are overly positive are just playing it up. And I think to an extent, and I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not even saying people here. I think there's people that are so negative that I think they're just playing it up. And I know that's like always been a thing. You know, we talk about, you know, other podcasters that, you know, pretty much make a living hating on us, whether they're actual Arsenal fans or not. But yeah, I don't know. I watched the game. I watched the highlights of the Wolves game. What's funny is, and I think Tanner, you said this, how, you know, you need context for these games. Like, oh, we tied 2-2. It's not a big deal. It's a point. And it's funny because I actually watched the highlights while you guys were all talking, and don't worry, I was listening. And I watching the highlights, I'm like, this isn't that bad. Like the first goal the Wolves score. Again, I kind of relate this game a lot to the Man U game. First goal the Wolves score, it was a howler. It was not a howler, excuse me. It was a banger. It was a world-class goal. I'm like, it's a nice goal. And if Rye's a couple inches taller, which he's one of these, I think he's the shortest goalie in the Premier League, and he's notoriously short. So if he's a couple inches taller, that's not going in. And the second goal, which this is an interesting thing too, is I feel like in all of this and in this, you know, run of bad form, which again, which we have accumulated the same amount of points as City this calendar year, and we played the same amount of games. So, and I get it. I think City can turn it on, but to say like we're shit and like they're going to win the league is, I think, absolutely asinine. If we went out, we win the league. Yeah, if they went out, they win the league. But I don't know. The league's still in our hands, and yeah, I don't know. I just I just think like false narratives are being created, and I think, and it's something that I'll probably break down in like a 15-minute monologue at some point in the show, but not right now, of course. But yeah, like people are talking about how like, oh, Raya has no command of his box and he's such a bad goalie at coming out, and I'm like, that's like one of the things he's been like so good at for us. And his communication with Gabriel was very poor. I'll admit that was very bad. I think I don't really know who I blame it more on, but like, now we have false narratives of like Raya not being a confident keeper and not being good in his box and not good at commanding the ball, which is like crazy because he does it in spades that I watch every game, and he did it phenomenally against Tottenham. Yeah, I don't know. And I've talked about this with Mike especially, and it's very frustrating that these narratives that get created and how bad we are and how, you know, we're getting relegated. At least, again, I genuinely was like, what is happening? And by the way, while this is all going down in the tech, it's like, oh, we got our asses kicked. We lost like 4-0. like this game's over. Like we got shellacked. And then I find out we drew, and I'm like, okay, like still not good. This is still not a good result. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm the kind of person that when I see a bunch of people go to one side of the hallway, I'm going to the other. I'm like, this is it's not that bad. Like this is crazy, and it makes me want to kind of feed into Mike a little bit and be like, we're top of the league, so what does it matter? Which, by the way, we are top of the league. In case anyone wasn't sure by this conversation, but yeah, I that's kind of it for me for now. But I'm sure I'll get into it because I do have a list of things.
I'll let Tanner do his job as host. I'm just like two, so to say, rebuttals, just because this is just sharing my perspective on it. I know that we spoke about result driven versus context. I'm old enough to remember the first Champions League Chelsea won. They played disgusting fucking football in the semifinal versus Barcelona, and then they played disgusting fucking football versus Munich at home in Munich, and nobody gives two fucks about how stats were shit for them, and they scored with the only two fucking shots that they had to score. So while you could watch the Wolves game and says, well, a lot of positive, we dominated, the result unfortunately it may not like dominate the conversation, but it dominates the league table, and that was 2 points dropped. And then on the false narrative things that you brought up, Brian, I agree with Raya not being a good goalkeeper. That's a false negative, like narrative and so on and so forth. There's a lot of things where like they make us look like a horrible team, like, oh, we can't score, or we only need corners. The one thing I fight against, that I don't look at this as a false narrative, is the idea that this Arsenal Football Club that we all support have been very close to the title and have fallen short. That's not a false narrative. That's rooted in truth. Manchester City has made a fucking pretty nice habit of being in a position that where they are and just winning out and just taking the league from like Liverpool for the last decade. So I don't think those are false like narratives. And that's why like I think Ryan and I are kind of on the we could see us losing it type of thing. And I don't think if you're an Arsenal supporter and say, I could see us dropping more points and City winning out, I don't think we're pulling that out of like a rabbit out of a hat. We're like literally are informed with the current or the like very near future history that just unfolded in front of our eyes, and we kind of know what Manchester City are capable of. So I don't personally, and I think not the extreme like, oh my god, everybody's shit, Ryan, but I do think if there's room in the conversation to say, I'm nervous, I'm not 100% sure we're going to pull this off, and I don't think that's hyperbolic in any way, shape, or form. Personally, I will shut up now. Oh, by the way, I double checked. It wasn't Wolves I ruined for you. It was Brentford. I just replied, Lee. I just text you, Lee gone ? And you replied, and I quote, "Shut the fuck up, LOL." All right, Tanner, go for it.
I didn't say it was you, but yeah.
I love the back and forth. First of all, Mike. By the way, so anybody when you guys want to jump in, do it. I don't. There's no agenda here other than trying desperately to get OG Ryan to shut the fuck up sometimes. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's true.
Maybe a little halfway. I mean, all of you make good points. The only thing, OG, that I'll say in terms of your false narrative with Raya, he had a bad game, and he's had a bad few games. The Wolves game, he's had a bad few games where he wasn't as assertive in his own box, where he wasn't coming for the ball. I didn't see that.
What other games?
I didn't. Brentford, same thing, same exact thing. I would dare say that for some reason it doesn't. It's not just.
I know it's not just that, but like I just don't agree. It's fine. Keep going. Sorry.
But there's context there where he can make a save, and you're like, see, but he's making the saves. He's making the see. There's a confidence thing there as well, and I just don't think he had a lot of confidence for the past month, where balls that I saw that he came for yesterday, he didn't come for against Wolves. He owned his box yesterday. Owned it. Absolutely owned it. Every ball that he should have come for, in my opinion, he did. And this is, I mean, this is fresh in my brain. I watched it 2 hours ago. I can't say the same about Wolves. I can't say the same about Brentford. But in games over the course of the last 2 months, he has not looked the keeper that he looked like yesterday. And so the false narrative thing, oh, he stinks. Oh, he's this, oh, he's that. Sure. But also admit when he does have a poor game. That goes against don't create the narrative that he stinks because he had a bad game. But if he's playing short of confidence, and I think for a while there he was. And again, listen, we're here for opinion, right? We're here for opinion. I think part of his dip in confidence stems from the fact that guys in front of him just weren't playing very well themselves. And I mean, you played goalkeeper before. If you don't trust the guys in front of you, you're all of a sudden you're not as confident in what you're going to do. So, but at any, I mean, not to sit here and go down a rabbit hole of David Raya. My biggest question is because look, I think, and I saw, I don't know if you guys saw the list of players that were either hurt or suspended for those shitbags. And no sympathy. I do not care. I would kind of rather pound them 4-1 when they're at their best. But that's sports. No sympathy for me on this. But that's a team in and of itself that they could have run out. Just the list of injuries and suspensions. That said, they're bad, and they may very well go down. West Ham may very well reel them in. Wolves are equal. I mean, Wolves are worse. Take the weather out of it. Both games on the road. And yesterday, as far as I know, was one of the announcers says like, blue skies overhead, a vast change from what they played in the midweek at Wolves. But take the weather out of it. So the question is, what's the difference here? Why the I mean, did you guys see a drastic difference in the way that Mike, you watched the Wolves game, right? Did you watch both games? You're muted.
He dikembe mutombo us.
Sorry, I was Google searching something else. Negative work saved me from the Wolves game.
Right, Real Ryan, did you watch both?
Yeah, I watched both. Yeah.
Okay. So and OG, you did not watch Wolves.
I did.
Highlight that. I don't want to hear highlights.
No. I did. No, I watched the full game, but
all right. I thought you said earlier.
I went 1.5 speed. Like I got the game done.
Okay.
Quick.
Yeah. Okay.
But I watched it.
Well, okay. So, and Mike, don't jump in anywhere in this question if you feel like you can. But Real Ryan, like, so the question to me, like, how did you notice a drastic difference in the way that we played? Because I did. And why? If you did, what to you is the difference? What changed?
It's weird, right? Because like I don't think that Martinelli, Medweke, Vic lineup has worked at all this year. And we had Saka playing the 10. So we had some people in some positions that that's new for Saka, obviously. And I don't love that front three. And I think Mikel sometimes gets those wrong. Like sometimes he just has two runners and it's like, well, no, you kind of need someone to be equitable with the ball and be able to, hold and be smart. Martinelli and Medweke, like for as much as I love them, like they can be extremely frustrating, but you're thinking, it's Wolves and it shouldn't matter. But, when I watched the game, we did the thing that you always want, right? We scored first. And I was like, okay, like, we're looking pretty good. And but after that, like it just felt like we never really got a handle on it. And it never really felt comfortable, even when we scored the second goal, because I feel like that came out of nowhere and it wasn't our attackers doing anything. That's a Gabriel slip ball to the back to Incapure, you know what I mean, for a finish. So it just felt like our attack was never really clicking enough to keep possession, knock the ball. It didn't look comfortable. And for the whole time, it just felt like Wolves felt like we can get something. And I just don't know why I just never felt a level of comfort at any point in that game. And then also, we had an inexplicable, Timber forgot how to play football for 20 minutes, where we can't string two passes together, where it's raining, we're knocking the ball long, no one can hold on to it, it's coming right back at us. So it was just messy, where, oddly enough, a few days later against Tottenham, completely different. Is it because people are playing in the positions that I feel they're most comfortable in? I don't know. But you watch the game live, even when we had the lead, it never felt good. And that was just strange. And I don't know why that's happened, but that's happened a few times. That's what I'm saying. This is not the first time that we've played like that when we have a lead or we feel like we're holding on to something. I've always been so frustrated when we have a 1-goal lead that we just don't keep possession. And I'm waiting for someone to step up and show themselves and try to knock some passes together, just calm the temperature down, but it just never happens. There's a moment too where Timber's coming back, checking his man. Martinelli, for no reason, goes to double. He leaves his guy, the ball comes back out to him, and that's where the cross comes from. Like, we've seen us like back up and retreat and retreat and retreat and retreat, and we'll just keep everything in our box. And we just invite all this pressure, and weird things can happen. Like, these, other teams, they might not be as good as us, but like, they're professionals too. So I think we bring it on ourselves, and I don't know what it is with games that I feel like we know we should win. And we just, I don't know what it is. I just feel like we get nervous. I can't explain it. It feels like our technical level goes down. We're talking about Arteta screaming at them to keep it calm and knock it around. We won't do it. We're bombing the ball long. We're just trying to knock it into channels, just turning the ball over. It's coming right back. It's weird. So I don't know. And it's one of those things where, like, did we turn a corner after the Man City or after the United game, and Arteta's saying we're going to play so much differently, and then to get that, it's like, well, he's already gone to the well once to get his like rah moment and like turn it around, and then we do that. So that's why I'm on the fence. That's why it's like I'm so happy we beat Tottenham. We played great. It looked great. But like, I'm not fully back on like we're back and we're good again yet. So I don't know.
OG, you just, I mean, difference.
Yeah, honestly,
you noticed
no.
it and why you did.
So okay, let me finish before you all three jump down my throat. I did not.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm just kidding.
I did not see a big difference between the Wolves and Tottenham game. I did see a big difference between the Tottenham and the Brentford game. So, so I obviously watched the Wolves game not live, and you've seen text messages from people who are inherently notoriously negative this season, and even seeing texts from people I talk to who are in my boat, who are very positive and don't understand where it's negative in my boat. I'll just say that was even like, what the fuck? Like, this is horrible. Like, this is the worst game we played all season. So I'm like, what? I'm like, all right. Now it's like that morbid curiosity. Like, oh, you kids want to see a dead body? It's like, well, yeah, kind of now. So I don't know. I didn't think the game, like the Brentford game, like infuriated me. Like, I don't know if it was Mike I was talking to or someone else, but they were like, dude, what? Like, wow. Like, I didn't think you would, like, this is interesting. It took you this long. Not that it took me this long, but it was like, oh, this was the game. Like, crazy. Like, dude, it just felt like that they didn't give a shit. They were in a training session. They were dummying balls. They were just like dribbling in the box for way too long. I saw it more in the Brentford game than I normally have. This game, we got a lot. We had a lot of chances. I think Martinelli should have scored to make it. I think it was 1-0. So I think he should have scored in the first half to make it 2-0. And I think that changes the game. Being up 2-0 early on in the first half, by the way, it was early on in the game, as opposed to getting that 2-goal lead later on in the second half or in the second half. I think changes things. I think we had so many chances, and I think the Wolves' first goal was what's been the kryptonite of our season. Just we're always conceding like worldies. And I'm not saying that it's not our fault at all, and we should be like, no, like, obviously, like, we have to take blame for that. But it does seem a little crazy how we're always conceding worldies. I don't know. It's just me. And I don't know what the stat out there was saying how the 9 goals we Mike, you said it. I don't need to repeat it.
It was like 16 goals that we conceded had a combined of like 2.7 xG.
Yeah,
so
which is
all the goals. Yeah, it was just like you said. It was
it's crazy.
Worldies and like deflection, just incredibly low xG opportunities.
But then you look at the other side of the coin, and there is stuff that is our doing. Like you even go to the Tottenham game, the goal that Tottenham scored. The person who said, focus, guys, focus, thinks he tries to be cute and split the defenders. Well, they weren't defenders, but split the two men because he was kind of locked into a corner and he lost the ball and they scored because of it. I mean, it's the same stuff, but like, I don't know. Against the Wolves, I just think we should have capitalized more on our chances in the first half. We would have had a bigger lead. It wouldn't have been a thing as much in the second half. And I was also like very frustrated because Wolves are a team that I don't really like. You know, Mascara's kind of is a cunt. He's a dirtbag, and I just feel like nowadays there's more and more of those in the Premier League. And I thought Chelsea bought them all, but no, there's still a few lying around. And you know, your Bruno Fernandes, your Bernardo Silva's, Mascara's, you know, in that boat. And everyone talks about, you know, Jesus coming for him. You know, to be fair, Mascara stuck his fingers in his asshole. What was it, 2 seasons ago? So like, what are we doing here? And then the Trossard concussion, the Trossard injury, like that pissed me off. Nothing was done with that. He clearly looked at Trossard, saw him, and tried to fucking knock his ass out. Like, I mean, obviously not with a punch, but it's an intent to injure. Like that. I don't know. And so like I saw myself being mad for different reasons, which may have kind of took me off of your scent in saying how bad we played. It's like, yeah, we played bad, but I was just so annoyed about the Trossard injury, about the Mascara thing. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was obviously very upset about the result, and like we should have had a comfortable lead in the first half. The Wolves are not a good team. But the one thing I will say, and I guess this kind of plays into your guys' hand, is a big difference is not necessarily the way we played. I think the biggest difference for me between the Wolves and Tottenham game was the way that the other teams played. Tottenham were just open season. You could tell Tudor, which fun fact, one of my buddies, he is a big Arsenal fan, and we talk all the time. And I've definitely mentioned him on this podcast. His name, I don't want to say his name. It's kind of it's a very, I don't say it's derogatory, but regardless, my nickname for him is very funny, I think. But his last name is Tudor. So when he got appointed, he told me he was getting text messages from everybody, even people that really don't watch the Premier League, but they, you know, their buddy told them. So he got a text because everyone knows he's such a big Arsenal fan. So yeah, I gave him a lot of shit. But anyways, he was telling, you know, Van der Ven to push up, play a high line. And Van der Ven's like, are you fucking nuts? I'm not doing that. And they kind of ignored him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know what Tottenham's plan was. I think whichever plan the players decided to do, or even the plan Tudor wanted them to do, I don't think either was the way to go. You know, the Wolves play tight. They play physical. They do a lot of things that we're not good with. I don't know if I don't think they played a crazy low block, but it was low block-ish. Tottenham didn't do that at all. Tottenham wanted to play football against us. And, you know, as you see in the Champions League, which most teams in Europe are going to do, even the shittier ones, like even a team like Kairat, I think they might have finished second to last. They didn't play a lot. They played us. They tried to play us. And now the talk is, did the game mean anything or not? No, but they've done that in the whole Champions League. They play. They don't play a low block. Teams out of the Premier League do not play a low block. This is like it's not really a thing. So I think I'm a little like I guess that's another reason why I'm not as down on the team. Like I really see a path for us in the Champions League. I think we are the best team. We haven't lost yet. And see, now I'm like losing my place. I was talking about something else, and now I'm talking about Kairat in the Champions League. But the Wolves, and then I just think that the Tottenham were playing like a Champions League team as far as their tactics, not actual footballing. They were terrible on the day. And we exploited them, and I think confidence is a big thing. And again, something I'll probably get into a little later. And Eze has a hat trick against his team already, and now he's got 5 goals. What is he now? He's joint 3rd place as most goals scored against Tottenham, which is like crazy. He's only played 2 games against them. So yeah, confidence is a big thing, and he had that. And his first goal was not easy to have that control and put it in the net. It was a very nice finish. And yeah, confidence is a big thing. Knowing your enemy is a big thing, and the way other teams set up. And I get it. We are the best team in the world, but 2 teams get paid to play, and I get that we're favored. We'll probably be favored, maybe minus the City game. But even then, I think they'll favor us. I think odds will favor. I think bookies will favor us. But 2 teams get paid to play, and it's a tactical battle. And I think sometimes Arteta is too stubborn, and this is where I've been very I've been blowing Arteta a little bit this season. I mean, I'm not like
this is where you and I butt heads.
Yeah, I shouldn't say I've been blowing him, but I'm not as negative as a lot of people are about him. But the thing that really bothers me is he's very stubborn with his tactics, because he wants to play in the fine lines, the fine margins, and be secure in the back, and not necessarily always do a smash and grab, but like play within those margins, score the goals that we need to score, and win 2-0. I mean, even 1-0 if it needs to. But a team like Wolves, let's play a basketball game with them. We're gonna beat them. If it turns into an open season game and it's a basketball game, we're not losing. We're the best team.
So the difference is, and I don't disagree with you. The difference is Tottenham kind of looked like they wanted to try and play, whereas Wolves, not at all. And most teams are going to play us the way that Wolves did. And the
in the Premier League, yes.
And exactly, that's a great point that you make, because you're absolutely right. Teams across the continent don't play this way. They come to play. They want to play. And at the end of the day, it's like I've said before, I said it last week. Defense can win you championships, but you ain't winning shit if you don't score. And so these teams that play the low block, and so my question then would become, and it goes back to Arteta. I don't want to go down the road that we went down last week. Why? And you just said it. He's stubborn with his tactics, and you're absolutely right. Somebody wants to play a basketball game against us. You want to get into a track meet? We're gonna kill you. We're going to kill you.
Even with our lack of attack, that you famously don't think we have a good attack, and that's fine. I'm not here to argue with you about that, but
I don't think we have an efficient attack.
Fine, whatever.
I think that would be the way I prefer.
But if we get into a basketball game with some of these teams, I think our attack isn't as efficient as it's been.
Wait, you say if we get into a basketball game, it's not as efficient?
No, no, the opposite. I'm saying I'm saying it won't be as efficient as it has been if it's a basketball game. So we'll be more efficient.
I couldn't disagree with that more. I think we are so incredibly inefficient trying to play against a low block. And if we get into a basketball game, we're going to get what we got yesterday.
No, that's what I said. Yeah. We're saying the same thing.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding you. Okay, so you agree with what I just said then. Okay.
If we're playing the best game, we're going to score more goals.
Yes, okay.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Mikey, did you want to jump in there on anything?
I might have said it wrong.
Yeah. So I'm going to use the term hand waving, and I don't mean to make it sound like make it sound what Ryan said, like he's hand waving these results, because he's his main take home from the Spurs and the Wolves game is that we played exactly the same, but one team defended, the other one didn't. And the other one was a little bit more open and attacking us.
I mean, yeah, you want to dumb it down, but it's a little more complicated than that, but sure.
I'm going to dumb it down, or just bring it down to the bare minimum. Does that not worry you that we're not capable of breaking down and scoring more goals versus shitty teams that just like defend? Like for me, I see that like a major issue myself. Like I don't, because like Chelsea, they tried to defend versus us, right? Last game, if I remember, they didn't do, in the League Cup, they did like sweet fuck off for approximately 60 minutes, and then they decided to try to attack us.
Shit, Mikey, I'd say 75.
75. So let's just 75. And so we are with Wolves. Let me see. Their goal difference is minus 33 goals. So they have, let me see, conceded 51 goals. And this is the team that we couldn't break down because they defended low. Like, I feel like top of the league.
I mean, to be fair, Mike, we've always had this problem. It's not, and I agree with you. We should have still broke them down to the worst team in the league by a long shot. But I mean, let's not act like this is just out of nowhere. Like, oh, we couldn't break down the Wolves. Like we're notoriously bad at breaking down low blocks. And again, I think that's to Mikel's detriment because he wants to play solid in the back and not free-flowing football in the front. He wants to just play solid, and we'll play in the fine margins, and it'll all work out because we're going to be a more conditioned team, and we're going to be a better skilled team, and we have better subs, so it'll just all naturally work out in the fine margins, which, again, like, I agree with if we're playing City. I think we're going to – I don't want to say that. I think against City, I think, yeah, sure, that's fine. But against a team like the Wolves, like, no. Sometimes you have to just, impose your will on the team and be like, no. Like, you guys are scum. You're going down next season. We're not going to play you guys next season. You're going to be the championship. And we're playing for the quadruple. And we're gonna take our balls out and have you shine them for us. Like, we need to make it attractive at that point. We need to be a little more, play a little more open, but we're better than them. Like, that's what's like, that frustrates me.
Well, I think so in that situation though, it does kind of take two to tango, because if we want to try to make it a more wide open game, I don't want to get into tactics here, but how do you do that against a team that doesn't want to do that? And real Ryan, jump in here at any point.
You don't pressure them.
Yeah, well, I think we're like, that's not what I'm really concerned about. Like, what I'm concerned about is we had a 2-goal lead. Like we did the hard part, right? Like, it's not like it was 0-0 going into the 85th minute and we just couldn't find a way through. Like we did that already. Like, we had the 2-goal lead. So I'm a little bit more with OG Ryan on this. Like, I think our offense can be wasteful, but if a team, and you guys have said it, they want to play us, like, we'll give you smoke. But, like, everyone knows that, like, you don't want to do that because you can get hands put on you. Like, it's not like we haven't scored, 3 against Bayern, 4 against Atletico Madrid. I know it's in Europe, and we've had some big games. I knew, we went 3-0. Who'd we beat 3-0? Sunderland. We gave Leeds smoke at Leeds. And these are teams that are trying to play. So, and you'll see fans say, like, man, like, we played Arsenal, try to give it our best shot and go out there and play. We got battered. So more often than not, teams that are inferior to us will play that way. So, and I understand that. But against Wolves, it's hard for me to square that because, like, we had the 2-goal lead already. So I get when there's games when it's 0-0 in the 85th minute and we just can't break it down. We already had the lead. So I'm concerned about, and maybe this has changed, but like, and that's why I'm more mad than anything is we already did the hard part against a bad team that wanted to just leave on a nasty, cold, wet night. And we let them back in the game. That's the thing we can't have happen if we want to be serious and win the league, So we're going to have some tough tests come up here. So I do agree that, yes, I wish we had better offensive players, and maybe it's a talent issue. But, like, Saka been in and out of the team, Odegaard in and out of the team, Kai been in and out of the team. Like, we haven't even had the guys that we all love to play every game for me to feel like, well, this is the team it's struggling. Like, we have guys that we'd want to start that aren't. And the Eze thing, that's one that's big for me where, I don't know what happened, after Villa and why, I don't think he got the time that he deserved, but hopefully that changes thing. And for me, like, what I want personally is I want to see, Eze on the left. Like, I just want to go for it at this point. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't think it needs to be him or Odegaard or whatever. Like, my thing, and I've said this for so long, Arteta has coached and put together such a fantastic defense and a collection amazing players back there. Like, can we just depend on them? We don't need cover everywhere. And, oh my God, like Eze lost a mark and it's the end of the world. Like, I don't care, because I think we have enough there to keep games close. We will never, get blown out, if you will. But let's try and help and have some different connections and some different things to make other teams think about in our offense. Like, I don't think people are scared of Martinelli. Like, they're not. He's easy to mark. For as much as I do think Medweke has done a good job and has been great, like, there's also, the IQ is not, super high level either. Like, he's wasteful as well, as exciting as he is. Like, so I want to just see us not have the handbrake on, an Arsene Wenger term, and play some more attacking minded people, even though it might leave some gaps and some spaces behind that I know will keep Arteta up at night. But I think in some games it might be worth it, or else we're going to have these nervy, it's 1-1 or 1-0 and we're just hanging on for dear life. Like, the reason why the Tottenham game was so cool and I wasn't scared is because we scored 4 goals. And if Raya doesn't save that one off the line and it's 3-2 with 8 minutes to go, it's like, we're sketching out again. So I'm just like, just go score more goals. Like, we'll be fine at the back. That's where I'm at. Like, and that's what I want him to do. I know every game is do or die. I just don't know if he'll actually do it. And another thing, and I know this is like for the future, I feel like if we do win something big, we will see that go away from Arteta. I don't think he'll be so nervous about things if he just gets a Premier League or a Champions League, whatever. I honestly think, and that's the reason why I really want to win this year, outside of it, it's been so long and we deserve it and we've been so close, is that I actually want to see him like relax a little bit and maybe, coach a little bit more free, more open, knowing that like, okay, like I have won a Premier League and not every game is like, my job and like is on the line, and the pitchforks are going to come out every time we lose. So, it's kind of a short form and like a long form, like where I'm kind of at with the attack, and just some things about, against Wolves, like, dude, we have the lead. So like, I can't explain. I don't care about, why wasn't the attack clicking or why wasn't we doing anything? Like, we already did the hard part. Right. So
it's interesting. And I agree with you that I don't think he fully trusts everything. But the crazy part of that statement, the crazy part of that thought process to me is we have talked now for 3 years that we have the best back line in football. And now I dare say it's even better. It's better now. You've got Gabriel and Saliba, best center back pairing in the world. I've said this for 3 years. Best center back pairing in the world. 3 years ago, when it was Ben White and I don't even remember who on the left, Kieran Tierney on the left. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't him. I know he was here, but whatever. Regardless, we've been talking for how many years about how good our back line is, how good our defense is, and then we go and we put David Raya back there, and now it's like we've gotten OG Ryan. That was the keeper that he wanted. Right? We all loved Aaron Ramsdale more for the shithousery, okay? And I think he's a good keeper. I don't know how he's fallen by the wayside as much as what he has. But he was a good keeper while he was here. And I don't think anyone was like, we need a new keeper. This dude's not it. But then he got David Raya. And that was his guy. Right, OG? That's what you said. That's what, and I agree wholeheartedly with you. That's his guy. He wanted that guy. So he goes, he gets his guy. So now the back five, solid. We're good. This is what we want. We've supplemented it with a very competent backup in Christian Mosquera. And down the road somewhere, we're going to have a conversation about who the signing of the summer was in terms of the player that's performed the best in this club this year. Down the road, not tonight. But we get Christian Mosquera. And we bring in, basically on deadline day, Pierre Nkapie, and my fat ass was trying to do backflips at that signing because I love him. Absolutely love him. One of the best, if not the best, defense in the world, and he doesn't trust it. And I don't think that we need to play Let me rephrase. I'm going to say this a different way than what I was about to. I think we could afford to play more attacking players. I think he just has to trust the back line, and it'll drive a conversation a little bit. I'm going to put it out there. Mike, your OG, you can jump in here at any point. But a thing I was going to bring up, are Declan Rice and Martin Zubamendi undroppable? Because I don't think they are.
That's what I was going to bring up.
So again, OG, you've always said horses for courses. Do they both have to, let me rephrase, do they both have to play together all the time? Because I don't think they do. I think if you've got a one-off City Champions League final, simply because you don't know who you're going to play, but I think if you had to put your best 11 out there, I would say yes. I want those two out there.
We didn't need them against Wolves.
And I don't know that we needed them against Spurs, different that we don't necessarily need to go down that road. But I don't think those two have to play every single waking game together. And it goes back to the point that I've made. And I don't know if when I say this, if it makes sense to everybody. I think, OG, you get it. But it's like, if he doesn't name you in the starting 11, he doesn't trust you. He doesn't trust. There's not a player on the team that he trusts to come off the bench. He trusts you if he starts you. But he doesn't trust you if he's bringing you off the bench. I know it sounds crazy to say that.
I don't agree with that. I get what you're saying. I agree with the principle, but
I don't believe wholeheartedly what it is that I'm saying. It just seems to me that he gets married to certain players. BX said it earlier. He dropped his son, meaning he meant Odegaard
and that was due to injury too, I believe.
Well, I mean, he came on later, but sure, I don't think he's back fully healthy yet. That's another conversation to be had. But I back to Real Ryan's point, the defense is good. Stop with this, like, go. I don't know how you break down the low block. I don't know how you do it. I'm not that smart with this. I have ideas and I'd probably get laughed at. But you want to play a track game with us, we're going to smoke you. These teams with the low block, and I don't know what to do, but it just seems like the teams with the low block, and all he wants to do is just what we say 4 years ago, OG, hoof the ball,
horseshoe.
The horseshoe of death. That just seems to be what he wants to do, and there's no one in the middle. You could make a roller coaster track out of all the players that he does that with.
So BX says play as Rice and Havertz in midfield. Despite being super frustrated with the Wolves game,
that's what I would do. But Havertz isn't fit.
So despite being super disappointed with the Wolves game, one thing I did kind of liked when I saw the formation come out, the 4-2-3-1. I do wish that whoever plays at 10 had the opportunity to play more advanced. So the double pivot, like, if I don't care if you play Zubamendi and Rice every single waking minute, but I would like the double pivot thing that he tried with the Wolves, and maybe not Saka at 10, but like Saka outright and Odegaard, Havertz, insert the 10 of your choice as a more centrally, and I think it was Ryan that made the point, just let them be creative a little bit more. I think it was like I was watching Moneyball the other day, and I heard Billy Bean say, "I hate losing more than I like winning." Something like that. I hate losing.
Clips of that movie is all over my algorithm. I think on YouTube. It's funny. It's a great movie. So
it's a great movie.
Yeah. Baseball, so.
I think I think he lives off of that principle where he hates losing more than he loves winning, and he's like, I think he's a big. I kind of relate him as a basketball coach sometimes, where I think like he's playing the percentages, and it's why we end up in the corner so much. We're like, you know what? This is the least likely if we turn over the ball. This is the lowest percentage in which they could harm us. We have the highest percentage of that ball bouncing off. And
this is what I've been saying in countering Tanner's argument. I'm not saying it's right, but yeah.
Yeah, I generally
plays.
It's how he plays. He plays the most risk-adverse manner. He puts the ball in the most, tedious places for us. If we do end up turning over the ball, it's not like we're exposed. It's all the way in the back. And I think that what ends up carrying us so much to the flanks. But yeah, I was just going to say that myself. It's just on the conversation that you were having about Zubimendi and Rice, I really wish we could see the 4-2-3-1 a little bit more, and be it maybe not Saka as 10. It could be Odegaard. It could be it could be Merino for all I care. We all noticed. I think we all agree that Merino, the closer to goal he is, the better of a player he is for us. He wasn't exactly the deep line defensive midfielder that a lot of people thought about. So I am super pro trying the 4-2-3-1. I know that we intended it versus Wolves, and at least on paper we had Saka playing centrally. Was it Madueke and Martinelli or Trossard? I like that formation, and I think if he would allow our creative players to stay fundamentally creative and not hound them so much and say, if you don't track back, you're in the shit house. I wish that's the perspective I get from the outside. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know if this is true, but we've seen players have really bad defensive outings, and then we don't see them for a few weeks. I think the last major one that everybody was discussing was the Eze playing left wing versus Aston Villa or something like that, and I think it was Cash or somebody that just completely smoked him, and then we just never seen him play at left wing again. So I'm pro Rice and Zubimendi just in a double pivot. I wish our creative players were allowed to be more creative and less rigid. I often make the hyperbolic statement of prime Messi wouldn't have a position in Arsenal or Arteta's Arsenal because he just doesn't track back enough. And, again, I'm aware that I'm using the absolute craziest hyperbolic thing, but that it's just making my point where if you're like Cristiano Ronaldo, no, motherfucker, you need to track back. Salah, what are you doing banging in all those goals? This right back just got away from you, motherfucker. Like, I just feels like just let a mofo go out there and attack, man. That's all I'm saying. And that's not what I get from Mikel Arteta. And I don't, maybe like you said, Ryan, if we do win it, and
I was just going to say, I think it's going to, if we win, I think it'll change.
In a way, who knows, right? But as of right now, yeah, I think this is what we're preparing to watch, guys. Something slow, methodical.
What's crazy?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys remember this, and it made me so happy. I'll just never forget this pass. It's so the pass that Timber makes to Gyökeres, right? You guys split like 6 people. Zubimendi's coming to check, and he doesn't play it back. He just plays the ball in the seam to Victor. Obviously, we know the rest, right? One touch, bang. If he passes to Zubimendi there, that's you letting the defense off the hook, letting them a chance to get set, get their marks, figure everything out. Because you notice, no one's marking him. You know what I mean? We're kind of in a transition moment. He's running. No one's really close to him. You go back to Zubimendi and bang, now someone's on and the moment's gone. So if I can see more of that, and it's not like the end of the world if that pass gets cut out and it goes the other way and Arteta's not ripping people's heads off because of it, that will be something that will make me so happy. Because we have the talent to do things like that, but we just decided, hey, let's just, let's keep possession, let's not lose it, whatever. That's a risky pass. We have to take more risks if we want the things that we want. We're gonna have to do that. So when I saw that, I was shocked. I could not believe that pass just came fizzing through, cut through their entire team, and Victor finishes like that. And that's what we need to do more often. Take the chance. And this is what we've been saying. If you lose it there, who cares? You have the best defense in the world behind you. It's fine. And Declan Rice, on top of it. You know what I mean? So it's just that's what makes me so. I can understand if we just don't have the talent. And if you turn the ball over, dude, we were all there for David Luiz and Mustafi and Socrates. And maybe him getting those guys, man, just effed him up. Because yes, when we did turn the ball over, we were getting scored on 100%. So yeah, it's not the same anymore. We got the guys, right? So yeah.
here's a question for you guys, since we're kind of on this low block, creativity, play wide open, basketball style, blah blah blah. Everything stays status quo from here to City. What does City do? They need a win. Do they open up?
I don't care.
Well, it matters. You can't sit there and say that it does that
I think our best 11
beats their best, but we've seen that our best 11 doesn't beat everybody if they decide they.
I didn't say that. I didn't say beating everybody. I think our best 11 beats City's best 11. I'm not saying.
What if City decide to sit back and play a low block, knowing that we won't break it down?
They're not going to do. They won't do that. That they may sit back and see what we do, absorb pressure for a little bit, kind of wait it out and see what Arteta's plan is. But at the end of the day, they're not going to do that. They're known for causing chaos in attack.
That's because they had the lead, though. They got the lead early. That's why they did that.
Yeah.
Well, I think, but see,
if it's neutral, they're not doing that.
I think that's their game plan. I think that was their game plan when they came to the Emirates, was to do that and just try to catch us out with Holland. I think Pep's game plan in that game worked to a fucking T.
It was either you or Mike brought this up last week. City are crazy and chaotic in attack, and that's what we're missing. We need to be more like City. Well, the reason why City is so crazy and chaotic in attack is because they're shit at defending. And if you notice Doku up there, you notice Holland up there, you notice all these players that are up there helping their attack, they're not tracking back. And they're so susceptible on the counter. Their defense is bad. They are bad in the back. They are probably the complete opposite of us. And funny enough, I just don't. I don't foresee their crazy and chaotic attack really giving us back for any issues. The one thing I will say, and kind of disagree with Mike a little bit, because fuck it, I like disagreeing with people.
I mean, you're giving me a panic attacks the way you're speaking about City right now.
Panic attack in a good way, because I shouldn't be. Yeah, like everyone, you and Tanner both said, "Oh, we're so solid in the back and we're good right now." Like, I don't know. And you talked about how we had hot takes this week. My hot take of Ben White not being at the club. How is he not playing? How does he not come up?
I got a hot take on that. I got a hot take on that.
Wait, he didn't make the squad though, right? Is he hurt?
No, he was hurt. He was hurt against Tottenham. But I'm talking about Wolves.
Real Ryan. This was, if you didn't see last week, OG's hot take was Ben White will not be here next year.
Yeah, we're selling.
Is it really that hot? I don't know if it's.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan. I agree.
I'm going to go completely against them and say, it's going to sound crazy. I actually at times believe that Timber hinders our attack sometimes by he's so aggressively at the end that sometimes I think he's in occupying zones where we would like Saka, and I kind of view like Ben White's more simplistic way of playing right back a little bit more liberating, at least in space, for our attack. So at times, while I love the fuck out of Timber, I'm also like, Timber, can you get the fuck out of the box, because Saka's not in the box for you.
Right. So I think I agree with you, but I guess my statement would be, I don't think he hinders our attack. He hinders our attackers. Think that's what. Yeah, that's what. Because I think he's great. I dream lineup. He's great in the third.
You know how we've spoke about this last week and like we tend to be more right side heavy in attack than left side. I want him to be his defensive solid as he is. Just do that as left back, and let Ben White do what he does on the right. And I think that brings a better balance as a whole on the squad. That is not me saying I do not rate Timber.
No. I know. Because I was gonna say I actually underrate him in the opponent's final third. I think he's very good in attack, but I agree. I think he's kind of stepping on Saka's. I see that sometimes he's stepping on. I saw in the Tottenham game, stepping on Saka's toes.
He took a header. He took like one. Was it Chelsea where it was like a last minute header where it was like direct straight to Gyökeres, and it was like Timber was there and he went over the bar. It was like last minute. Yeah, I remember. But he's in the box a lot, and I'm just asking the question is, how much involvement within the box do you want from your right back versus your wingers and your striker and
No, yeah.
Well, it is a lot, but like, is that not Mikel saying he wants that? I feel like if he didn't, he'd be like, dude, get the fuck out of there.
I agree.
I mean, like, stop being in that zone. Like, we don't need you there. Like, get out. So as much as I find it annoying too, because I feel like he's he's taken some chances off of other guys that I'd want to. It's like, what are you doing in that lane? I feel like maybe at some point, like Mikel is okay with that, because if he wasn't, like, I think he would know, right? But and also too, like we didn't really talk about it, but like, I mean, Mosquera came on and just locked it down on the right side. So I mean, if we need cover, like, and I love Ben White, I'm just saying, like, you know, Ryan saying he might not be here next year, like, I don't think that's crazy, you know, especially, I mean, he's such a warrior, but like, I can't believe he didn't. I thought he was going to start against Tottenham. So not even seeing him on the bench, even after he had his Instagram post that said he was fine, and maybe we're just being overly cautious, it was a little concerning, right? But
that's my thing, is I think he's coming back from like a long-term injury, and he's kind of proven that thus far, because of the time that he's been out, he hasn't been able to play like 3 games in a week. Like, yeah, he breaks down physically, because I think that there was Sophie Nicolaou on the Highbury squad. She often has some great guests, ex-players, managers, etc. And I can't remember who said this, but one of them said, like, if you miss preseason, you practically don't catch up within the season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With the fitness levels of the rest of the squad. So, like, missing preseason is no, like, oh my gosh, good thing he'll be back by the first game of the league. Not so much, dude, because like physically it's really difficult. And we saw that's why when he came back, like, that's why with like Timber being able to do this is like a fucking miracle. Like, Timber, like the minutes he's played, despite having all that time out, is big minutes. But it's funny, I think Tanner kind of tiptoed about the idea about talking about like a player of the season or a signing of the season. I don't know if this qualifies a hot take or not, but I feel like overall within the season, and I know Gyökeres is right now stepping up his game. And if you told me he had more goals than Etikete, I butchered his fucking name now. Thank you, Etikete. I'm fucked now. I'm fucked. I need to read it out loud. Him, Isaac obviously been injured. Neto from Chelsea. Dude, the fact that he has 15 goals, like, above them all right now, like, again, and every time I see him play, Ryan, and I see him receive the ball in that first touch, I still, like, I can't get over it, dude. I look at it and I'm like, my God, you clumsy motherfucker. But I do.
It was good against Tottenham, though. It was good against Tottenham.
It was good. So
I agree.
This is what I figured out. This
the
is what
ball,
he does,
blows really, up on him when he.
This is what he does really fucking well. He could hit the ball at pace.
Yes.
And well aimed, which explains why he has like such a high penalty rate.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, dude, he set him, like, his first touch it looked a little clumsy, but you know what he did? He put it right in front of him to fucking hit it.
Yep.
And boom, blasted it in. And then the second time when he was riding, was Spencer, I think, was like giving him pressure.
Oh no, it was Archie Gray.
Archie Gray. He just rode the pressure enough to slightly move it to the right. And again, bam, dude. And like, he's lethal of hitting a ball with like a lot of pace, with a lot of direction, and that's his superpower. Yep. But I swear to God, dude, everything else he does seems like the clumsiest shit to me that I can't get over. But hey, man, dude, if he finishes, like, my expectation was like 20 goals, right? And because I thought like there was a lot of people in that fantasy line where they're like, if he scores 53 goals, I'm like, dude, he's not. This is the English Premier League. Like, literally, Haaland only managed to do like 40 something once. Respectfully to Gyökeres, he's not Haaland, right? That's how I was looking at it. But because you brought up Mosquera and Tanner brought up Nketiah, like, I generally look at it like our defensive signings this past summer have been more beneficial or came in more clutch to the club than our attacking ones. And I don't know if you view that as a hot take, but so on one side you got Gyökeres, which is now falling into form, right? 5 goals in the last 5 games, I think.
Yeah.
Eza, who barely plays. And then on the defensive side, you got Norgard, which is non-existent, but you got Nketiah and Mosquera, who every single time like those guys play, I don't know, dude. Like, I think Mosquera had a mistake in the Champions League, which led to Mosquera did a bad pass, led to a corner that led to a goal.
Yeah.
other than that, for the most part, every single time this guy has started, it came into a game, I don't see him out of place. Was it Mosquera that started versus City, dude?
So I think didn't he get hooked? Didn't he get hooked at halftime?
Shit, dude. I thought somebody got injured at last minute and he started the game.
So I remember Liverpool because Saliba got hurt in the warm up and he came
Liverpool
in.
definitely got hooked.
I mean, well, no. He didn't get hooked. He the first game, Saliba got hurt and he came in. But did he get hooked at halftime on the home leg? I don't remember.
Shit, now my memory.
It did happen, but and the crazy thing is, I think for $13 million, it'd probably go down as one of Arsenal's best buys, like potentially. Like I'm not gonna say ever, but like he's unbelievable. But I really do think, if for me, like if we win the league, like and Mosquera's been great, it'll be Zubimendi, and I know no one wants to like because like boring. Like we know we've had him for like a year.
Get it in when Tanner's gone.
But just thinking that like just such a big role to fill, super important player for how Arteta wants to play, and the first time you're playing in the Premier League, and he's been knock on wood super reliable. I think he could use some more rest. That's why I've been a little bit upset with Arteta, is because every time Norgaard's played, he's looked good, and I'm like, you gotta give this guy more time. Like you can't play Zubimendi 70 times this year. Like it's not going to work, or you're just going to open himself up to get a long injury. And if that happens, we're fucked. Right. So I think if we end up winning, I mean, even if we don't win, God forbid, but like he's been unbelievable. But I think too, you can kind of see when he is flagging a little bit and he's tired and he hasn't really gotten the rest that I think he should get. So that's why when you guys were talking about does Rice and Zubimendi have to play all the time at the same time, I think he, maybe at some point, but now it's just like every game is such a high leverage important game. I think he's too nervous to do that. But I'd like to see games maybe Declan play 6, and Zubimendi gets a rest, or Norgaard or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I think they can mix and match that a little bit more, but I don't know if he feels comfortable doing that. There are some games where he'll get some rest, when we play Manfield or, whoever we're playing in that round of 16 for the FA Cup. I don't think it'll happen in the league. So, that concerns me a little bit too.
I think we spoke about that last week when you weren't here, where, again, that conversation last week just turned into a bunch of hot takes. And one of my hot takes was, I was never completely sold on the idea of Declan Rice's left 8. So the fact that you say, hey, occasionally play him at 6, I'm totally down for that, right? And those are the games in which I was like, yeah, dude, that's when you put as a left 8.
Yep.
And Odegaard on the right, and that's how you play Wolves.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, and then a lot of conversation. Not only that came around was the rotation thing. Where like Tanner. So Tanner just led the conversation. This is kind of how we ended up here, where he believes that if you're not in the starting 11, he doesn't trust you. I don't think I'm that far, but I do believe that like with his selections, you do play occasionally, and I do think he has like a rank for the most part. I also believe that a lot of his starting 11s are based on fitness that we, the public, don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a few times, and I could be wrong about this, Ryan, but I could have swore I saw Merino play a few minutes prior to the, hey, he's injured and he needs surgery. So like, because it wasn't like he got hit or a heavy impact and he was out injured. It was like literally, hey, we did a scan. He has a microfracture. He needs a surgery. So that to me tells me he played hurt. He played, he trained, and he was probably telling he goes, I don't know, it fucking hurts, but I could play through it. And so I think a lot of their starting 11s are based on that. Now, flip side. So I think not starting doesn't mean Arteta doesn't trust you, but when he outright barely ever selects you, hence Ethan Waneri,
Miles,
Lewis Skelly, even Miles Lewis Skelly, that's a great one because he's a little bit healthier. But everybody else, I think for the most part, he has a lot of confidence in at the very least about 15, 16 of our players where he feels comfortable rotating. And Mosquera is one of them. Hincapie is one of them, et cetera, et cetera. But like Ethan Waneri and Miles Lewis Skelly, there's something going on there where like it could be something as simple as Ethan Miles is super young and he's looking to develop something, right? The Ethan thing, I literally, as I said today, a little being hyperbolic, prime Messi doesn't get a chance in this squad, and I think Ethan Winery just has that. I'm a real effective player moving forward. I'm a flair player, so I'm just going to attack. And he must have like not tracked back. He must have done something or not done something off the ball. And so ultimately the selections will kind of indicate where the manager actually feels whether you're capable or not capable.
No, it sucks because we did the preseason or the season preview, and it was that one of the topics was disappointments of the season. And I said it was going to be Ethan and Miles, just because I'm like, where are they going to get minutes? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that was, based on the season that he just had, that was out there, man.
I know, but I just knew it, especially because we Calafuri was healthy, and we bought in Capia, and that was after Eze. I was like, where are these guys going to play? So. I hate it too because I think Ethan is special, but I know it's going to be harder in a Mikel system to play that position because he just requires so much from who plays there. So we'll see. And it sucks what's happened at Marseille, De Zerbi leaving and everything, just an absolute mess, and we can't recall him. So it just sucks.
It's the biggest knock. It's one of the two big knocks that I have on Arteta, and they are things that can't be overlooked. The seeming lack of willingness to rotate, back to OG's point, being stubborn, and I know he disagreed, but as I say that, he's going to disagree with this.
I actually don't.
No, what I'm about to say, you disagree with.
Oh.
Let it breathe. Hold on.
No. The lack of a plan B in attack. Every time I watch a game where we struggle, this is my homage to the U.S. winning gold yesterday. Every time we struggle to break down a low block,
fucking wink at the camera.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, you literally pose like you're a model and give a wink when the U.S. won the gold. Like, okay, cool, dude.
Anyway, so there's a scene in Miracle where the U.S. are winning, and Kurt Russell playing Herb Brooks, and he says to his assistant coaches, meaning the Russian coach, he doesn't know what to do. They've shut down Plan A. The Americans shut down Plan A against the Russians. A team that we're playing, Wolves. Well, I don't even want to say that they shut it down. A team that really shuts a Forest. Okay, don't even get a shot on goal. When Plan A doesn't work, they play the low block, and we can't break it down. All I think of is their coach, the opponent's coach, looking at his coaching staff and saying, "Arteta doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do when it doesn't work." And he goes and he keeps going back to that well of, this is how we're going to play. This is what we're going to do. It's everything you guys have already said with, don't make this pass. Don't make that bad pass where if you lose possession, So those are the two biggest gripes that I have with him. And if this thing does not end the way that we want it to end, and I'm not trying, this isn't a hot take. It's just not. You get to a point where you have to say, has this guy brought us as far as he can bring us? And if he doesn't, and look, as you could say, oh, it's the players. Well, it's his job to make sure he gets the most out of them. At some point, and eventually it comes down to, if you're chopping and changing players, you're bringing in new players, and you're still getting the same result, it's easier to change one guy than it is to change 25. And I hate to say that because I think he's done an incredible job. And I am by no means advocating that he gets sacked if we lose the game.
Sounds like it.
I know.
What are you trying to do?
Not lose another game, but you got to start asking some hard questions, because eventually it becomes. It becomes.
I want to jump in
here
and disagree with you, so you can save you from the embarrassment. I actually don't 100% disagree with you as much as you thought I was going to.
On the lack of a plan B in attack.
Yeah,
because you always disagree with that. Like,
okay,
you
so
wholeheartedly
well,
disagree.
I guess I do disagree. I disagree that he doesn't know what to do. I think he knows what to do. I think the problem is what he's doing isn't working. I think his problem is like, okay, like this isn't working, but like I have the better players, I have the better team, and if I stay solid in the back and I give faith in my players doing what they need to do, then everything will just work itself out. Problem is, like name an attacker that you would say is in form right now for Arsenal.
Right now,
Yeah, Gyökeres maybe.
Victor Gyökeres, absolutely.
But like even then, I think before this Tottenham game, people would definitely argue you. Like I mean, even after this game, people go, "Oh, it's one game. It's Tottenham."
Would you say that nobody's in form, or they would argue?
I would personally. I would say nobody's in form. I don't think anyone's like.
It's kind of hard to argue with. I mean, 5 goals in 5 games, but he had 2 yesterday. So it's okay. So it's 3 and 4. It was 3 and 4 before yesterday.
I think our best attacker right now is Gyökeres. I do, but as far as like taking the ball and like winning, like taking the ball and scoring that 3rd goal against Wolves. Granted, he wasn't in. I get that, but let's say for argument's sake, he wasn't. I don't know if I trust him to do that. I don't know if I'm like, okay, don't worry, Gyökeres is going to score this goal. That mishap between Gabriel and Raya is going to not matter because Gyökeres is going to score. I don't think anyone has that confidence in any attacker. And I think for a while, again, I don't want to name names, but there are people who still probably hate Gyökeres after his 2-goal game against Tottenham. Still think he's not worth it. Still think we need to sell him and get him out of the club.
And real quick, just I'm sorry, keep your train of thought. But Mike, I did hear you say something while I was gone, and that there's the 53 goals. He's gonna, if he doesn't do that here, he's a bum. Get rid of it. There was a very, very, very unrealistic expectation of him coming to this team, and I said it over the summer when we got him. Do not expect him to bang in 40 goals. That's just not going to happen here.
I don't even like him. Sorry, I think they're being too judgy about him. You know what I mean?
I think he's doing so much stuff off the ball that people aren't like giving him credit for, and it's kind of annoying. But he's a striker. No one cares about that kind of stuff, which is like, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. But real quick before I keep going, Mike, I know you have to get out of here, so floor is yours, buddy.
No topping. I had like a comeback to just keep the Gyökeres thing going on, but honestly, I don't want to drag this show longer, and I know you guys are going to talk about Gyökeres without me, so pleasure being back.
We're going to get ready to wrap this
up. I have one more thing I want to talk about, like very important, Mike, and you're going to miss out and you're going to regret it. So
if we're wrapping up the pod, I'll wrap up the pod. But if we're 40 minutes out from the ending,
no.
Ryan, okay.
I don't.
Real Ryan, are you good? I'm going to give OG the floor. I'm going to let him make his point. This will be the last thing of the night, and then we're out of here. Everybody good with that? Cool.
All right. So real quick, like we talk about
a bit of time apparently.
So we talk about how like we're not playing well. We didn't play well against Wolves. We play well against Tottenham with the differences and like Arteta, and he doesn't have a plan B. Yes, we can argue this till we're all blue in the face. But at the end of the day, like I think the league, the champion, everything. This whole season is all psychological now with this team. When you look at the pundits, you look at social media, you look at the atmosphere, even at the Emirates, even away, people forget these players are like 20, 30 years old. Some of these players are teenagers. So like the fear and the pressure and the stress, like it's very real. And I think it's not fair that we put them in this. I mean, they get paid millions of dollars. So maybe not fair is probably an exaggeration. But this is going to be my hot take for the day, and I'm going to probably regret saying it like this, and I would want to reword this. But one of the worst things to happen to us was the Invincibles as far as this season. And I think I would say most Arsenal fans put this pressure on the players, and it. I won't lie. It does. These pundits are fucking nuts too, and they eat it. They feed into it because they know how bad we are. And I just feel like it's Invincibles or bust. And We've only lost 3 games all season. And again, I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to debate anybody, but I was reading text messages, and this is an opinion, obviously. I was reading text messages from not only you two, but other people that made me feel like we were getting relegated. And that's just not the case. And I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up all your asses and say, like, well, we're top of the league, so none of that matters. No, it does matter. But also being top of the league matters too. So it's this fine line of like knowing where we are. And as much as I want to just end the show calling you a bitch, Mike, and Real Ryan, to be fair, because you kind of said the same thing. Like you guys are both 100% right. Like you guys are both right. And
fucking Real Ryan just jumps back in on the show after 4 months, and he's catching fucking strays.
Well, no, I feel bad because I want to just call Mike a bitch because I love Real Ryan. No, I obviously love both of you, but no. But my point is I think this isn't about footballing for me, and so like for me to be like, oh well, we're playing so bad, the season's over, oh the season's back on. It's like I think it's just a ride, and it's a roller coaster ride, and I'm not getting off the ride. I'm not getting back on the ride. It's just I'm locked in. My seatbelt's clicked. I'm following this to the end no matter what. And I think again, this is just it's just we're in a shitty situation. I think the players are in a shitty situation. When you watch a game at the Emirates, and I've said this, and I don't want to like I'm gonna definitely be getting blocked, and I think the Emirates is just not a good atmosphere. It's not a good atmosphere for what these players want to do and what they accomplish and want to accomplish. Hearing the groans from the crowd and when you go up a goal and then you concede and you go up again, it's 2-1 and there's like 10 minutes left and the crowd is just tight assholes. It's not good for the players because then they feed off energy. And growing up, I never really bought into that as much. But seeing this Arsenal team, I buy it. I definitely think they feed up into the crowd. And I think the pundits, talking about the quadruple and pundits talking about this, it's like, well, City can get a quadruple this season. I haven't heard any talk about City doing big things. I haven't heard anybody talking about trophies before Pep leaves. No, everything is all about Arsenal. Are they going to bottle again? Are they going to do this? Everything's about Arsenal. You have social media influencers. You have podcasters who are fans who support not City, not Arsenal, other clubs wishing for our downfall. All they care about is to see us lose. And the fear and the pressure, it's going to get to these players. It's gotten to these players. And I think this is something that like you can't really quantify in talking about football. Now, to be fair, I love talking to you fucks every week, so I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna analyze football and we're gonna talk about the midfield and the attack and how we can get better. But I really do think the psychological aspect of this season is taking a very, very firm hold on this team, especially the players. And I've noticed too, me personally, this season. And again, my opinion, I think the players are at fault for most of the points that we dropped this season. I don't really blame Arteta for much. I know people disagree with me. Tanner might be one of them. Whatever, doesn't matter. But yeah, I think this thing is bigger than footballing, and I'm just hoping that these players can just overcome it and kind of just put their heads down, see this season out. I mean, we're so close. I mean, at least for the Premier League season, we're so close to the end, and it's right there. But yeah, psychologically, I'm very nervous, and I wanted to just kind of do a little thing about it because I noticed that like watching the Tottenham game, watching Wolves and the Brentford game, all 3 games kind of like rolled up into one, and it's a mind fuck. And I was talking to one of my friends, and in preparing for the Tottenham game, he asked me for my thoughts, and I was like, if we don't get 3 points against Tottenham, I'm going to be homeless because I'm going to burn my house down. And I was confident. I was like, we're going to win because form goes out the window when it comes to the North London Derby, and I think this is the perfect pick-me-up game for us. It's happened for them in the past for Tottenham. They go on a bad run of form, they get a draw against us, and they feel like they're on top of the world again. The supporters feel like they're on top of the world. They give us shit, and then they clap up their squad, and they all of a sudden feel like they're world beaters. So I think this was the perfect game for us. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of really it. I just think it's kind of unfair. I mean, sorry, this is my last sentence. I just think it's really unfair. I mean, which obviously we don't control the media, we don't control the punditry, and we are like a massive fan base. So I get it, but yeah, it just, I think, yeah, it really sucks what's going on, and I'm hoping these players can overcome and bring us some fucking trophies, motherfuckers. That's it.
Mike, you jump in there with your last word.
Yeah.
I understood the reference. So yeah, I agree with Ryan that as in media does play a part, and I do think that they're being very unfair. That Chris Sutton guy came out again and saying that we over celebrated, but we all saw
Crazy.
Yeah, it's attention grabbing. Also,
I am happy he did it though, because have you seen the video of Arsblog from 2 years ago?
That one was from a few seasons ago. That was awesome.
Yes, exactly. But that came out because Chris Sutton was talking shit about us over celebrating, and it was funny because when Chris Sutton came out again, someone retweeted like, "Oh, great! So now we could reach this video again." If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, I think Pro Legion Arsenal, they did like visuals for I think it was part of their podcast. It's like a 2-minute video of I forget which one it was, but they were talking about him listening to Chris Sutton talk about how we over celebrated, and he called him a few choice words, and it's a very, very, very funny clip, and everyone needs to check it out. I think I retweeted it actually. If not, I'll retweet it.
BG, I copy and pasted a message that BX Gunner dropped in the live chat. I wanted to circle back to. I copied. It's the very last one that I put there.
Okay.
He just mentioned it. Feel free to highlight it for anybody that's actually watching it. But that I had this coming from BX early in the podcast. I had major doubts, especially after Wolves, but after the latest outing, something seems different. Like we've leveled up. It's just that I had that in the back of my mind, and I'm generally interested to see how the Emirates reacts. This kind of piggybacking off of what BX said and what Ryan said. That United game, the support was fucking horrible in the stadium. It was like really bad. And I'm generally want to see what the North London Derby did for the fan base, the local fan base, because they could either be like 2 years ago versus Leicester, where Saliba played an own goal and
fuck you. I was just gonna say that. Yeah,
everybody chanted his name, right? Or they could be moan and groan like they were reunited. And I'm generally interested to see how the local fan base is going to react to this, because I'm looking online. Everybody's still split. Again, some up, some down, but ultimately we all support from afar. Being at the Emirates, creating the atmosphere, the positive atmosphere. I'm not a big fan of booing the team. I generally want to see what the local fans feel and what the vibes are at the Emirates versus Chelsea. It's a big game. You want to talk about a turning point, and you know what, like Mika Arteta said, go out there and play with fun, and knowing that they put themselves in this position. I want to see what the fan base comes up with versus Chelsea. So I think, talking about turning points and momentum, I think a good outing versus Chelsea, plus the Emirates just genuinely supporting them, and trying to maybe put their own doubts in the back burner. Real Ryan and I just said that we have our doubts, right? But when you're there at the Emirates, just put it in the back burner, pretend they don't exist, and just support the team for 90 minutes. And hopefully it just creates a overall better atmosphere is what I would say on that. But that's my closing statement, man. Short and sweet.
Real Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit the nail on the head. I first to OG Ryan's point, like, the pressure that we're under is, I just could never imagine what it's like to go finish second 3 times in a row, and whether people want to call
the team ever have been under this much pressure before in the Premier League. I don't think so, right?
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
There's no way, and the media, like you said, it's not helping, because after match day 19, it's Arsenal's league to lose all of a sudden with like 20 games left, which is just complete nonsense, right? And we know that, like, still, even with the games we have left, like, there's a lot of games to be played, right? So, yeah, I definitely, we will never probably feel that amount of pressure in our lives ever. So I couldn't imagine what that feels like. And to Ryan's point again, like, the fans aren't helping. right? Like, just I know it's hard. I know we're frustrated. I know we all want it so bad. And like I know this message is not going to reach, the 60,000 people that are in Emirates, but like even though it's difficult, like even when it's not going great or we're making mistakes, or even if we get scored on, God forbid, just back the team and just let them feel like we're there. We have them, like we got your back. That will help us. That will help us so much in these home games, because honestly, there were times when we're playing, some of these games, like, I'm actually okay that we're playing away, just so we don't have the pressure of like the home fans, especially against like teams that we should be killing. Like I just know once it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, it's 0-0 or 1-1, and we're not finding a way through. Like you can just feel the fans just anxiety and moaning and groaning and just like freaking out. Like that's not making the players feel comfortable, because you want to talk about playing free and playing loose. Like you can't play free and loose when you just feel everyone on you and that every mistake could be the end of the world. So I'm hoping, and we'll see at the Chelsea game what that looks like, because that's going to be a tough game, right? So that's part one. And part two is, I am nervous a little bit, but I do think that, hopefully Dr. Tottenham it came in at the right time. And I think that game did come in at the right time. And that's exactly what we needed. I think if we had to like go and play Everton away or something else, like I just don't know if that really would have hit the right chords with like getting everyone like back on board. Like, come on, it's Tottenham away. Like it's a game we got to win. It's a North London derby. Like let's go and get it. And we performed and it was great and everyone's happy. So I think that just puts everything in a right moment. We have a week off. I'm feeling much better now than I did after the Wolves games. I was so disappointed. And it's still on, obviously. I'm protecting myself because I want it just as bad as you guys do, as the players do, as everyone does. So I just don't want my heart broken. So I'm just.
And this is the perfect response game, home to Chelsea. Like to
what we talked about. Why you got to steal my thunder, man?
Like, the reverse fixture, down 10 men. That was, I think, the first time I heard Mike really like this, really upset about the team.
I was big mad at the result.
Yeah, you were. I was shocked at your response.
I was big mad at the result, and I was even more upset with people celebrating the draw.
Yeah. And this is the perfect response. We're home, so this is the test of the atmosphere, and this is a Chelsea team that wants revenge. We knocked them out of a trophy. They think they have something on us because they took points from us with 10 men, and they're gonna try to out-physical us. That's their HO. They're gonna try to out-physical us, and but I don't know, with this new manager. I don't know if it's gonna be easy for them. I think that we've talked about this before, but their manager likes to play a lot of defense. He's not all about attack. So, I don't want to preview Chelsea, but yeah, I think this is the perfect response game. So it'll be interesting to see how the team responds, how the crowd responds, because the punditry and the social media is not going away. So if we could like at least kind of narrow it down and get the Emirates rocking, like and it's funny. The last thing, this is why I'm so drawn to European football outside of England, like Kairat, Inter. Like when we played them in Champions League, dude, they didn't stop singing. They sang for 90 minutes. Like even like they had a chance, they weren't groaning, they weren't moaning. They were just nonstop banging their drum, singing their songs, and like I think that's the coolest thing. Like a thing on my bucket list is I'm gonna eventually go to Germany. I do want to see Stuttgart game, obviously, but I want to go to Dortmund and go to the Yellow Wall. Because, dude, that atmosphere is – and I'm not saying we need to do the Yellow Wall, but, like, if we could take, like,
do not go on a tangent about going on trips because we're done.
No, not. I'm just saying – no, I was ending it. I'm just saying, like, if we could be a fraction of the Yellow Wall, like, whew, like, we would be a force to be a force.
Well, this just in. They are planning for safe standing next season.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am going to say something, and the beautiful part of this is that I'm the guy in control. So as soon as I'm done saying it, we out of here, and there ain't going to be a response. I could not disagree more with the idea that the pundits and the media are in their heads. These are
That's
professional.
crazy.
These are
That's
professional
crazy.
athletes. And here's what I'm
And
going
the
to tell
stream,
you.
and the stream. We're gonna go an hour longer. You're
Then
crazy.
here's what I'm going to tell
Don't play
you.
friends, bitch.
Crazy.
Okay, go ahead, end it.
I have talked to enough, albeit American, so maybe there's a difference. But I've talked to enough American pro athletes, and I've had this conversation. Do you care? They don't, because you know how they view the media? The kids that they picked on in school when they were playing. That's how they look at those guys.
You think it's the same in America than it is in England?
You couldn't do
Dude,
what I do, so you're going to go out there and you're going to bash me, and I don't really care.
I'm going to Glenn my way out of this.
Because I know that I can do this job. You can't. So shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what the player
Ryan, shut up.
Did he really just leave?
That's awesome.
No, he didn't. He just took himself off the stage. Anyway,
God, Tanner,
I couldn't.
Do you not know what that is? Come on.
I couldn't disagree. I'd have been real mad at you if you would have done that. By the way, I'd have been. I couldn't disagree. The thing that I think
we need off stage.
I think
in the back room we got to talk about this because you're crazy.
I think the pressure is being put on. I think they're putting the pressure on themselves, but I also think that it's coming from the manager and his constant barking from the technical area. And you've got to be here. You've got to be there. Hey, get back, get back, get back, get back. You don't think they know that?
Just say you want him sacked. It's okay.
I don't want him.
You're in a safe space.
I don't want him.
You're in a safe space, Tanner.
I want him. I want him to relinquish, again, control freak, but I want him to relinquish control and let them play. Just let them play. And I think that I think he is the one putting the pressure on. I don't think the media doesn't matter to those guys, man. I promise you, the media does not matter. Ask your wife. Have a conversation with your wife.
Tanner, it's American. America's completely different.
We'll finish this behind the scenes.
No.
That is it for the show. Boy, what a cliffhanger we left this on, huh?
That's
it's like wait, who just died? Who did they just write off the show?
Bro.
Anyway, everybody that has watched live, thank you guys all very much. John Brown, Bronx Gunner, always a pleasure having you guys in the chat. There was a new name up there. Let me scroll to see if I can't find it. Ross, I5U, says he's in North London. He was awake at 3 a.m. So God bless her. We certainly appreciate that support. If you've made it this far, thank you guys very much. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you are watching on Twitter, please go to the YouTube and subscribe over there. Thank you very much to Mike, to the real Ryan OG. You can kiss my ass. No, just kidding. You can kiss my ass. That's it for us. We out. Later.